In this session, Sir Eric Peacock shares some wonderful ideas on welcoming new starters into your business. Watch out in particular for a great idea to lessen the chance of counter offers and interview turndowns into your company.
We start off in our businesses by recruiting against values because we want value matches. Our experience and our stats show us that most of the people that don't make it for us, it's not about competencies, it's because there's a values mismatch. They just don't think the way we do. We call them PLUs. Are they PLUs? People like us. And that's what we're trying to recruit. So we start off on the values recruitment, and as I was mentioning earlier, when I sat in Southwest Airlines in Dallas on their recruitment process, there was a concept of the 45-second interview, and that is where someone coming in for an interview is monitored by front of house reception. Two of their values are fun and respect. By the time that individual's got up into the panel interview, they would feedback from the front of house, and it literally went like this. Said, look, let's just cut to the quick. We don't think you're going to be very happy here because we've got a values mismatch. When you came in, you were not really engaging with our front of house team. In fact, you really almost kind of dismissed them as low-grade employees, and you're a bit miserable because your smile factor was very low. So let's just cut the interview now. Thank you for coming 600 miles or whatever it was to this interview. Here's a $50 voucher for your next flight with Southwest Airlines. Goodbye. It certainly moves the efficiency. So they were quite ruthless in relation to the values match. Now that presupposes, of course, that you've got values well articulated and that you're actually living them yourselves. So, and can I make the presumption you've all got values in the business? Now, hopefully as the leaders of the business, you guys should know what the values were. Think about it. I won't embarrass anyone by asking them to repeat them, just in case they've had a slight mental block on them. But are your key managers in your business also walking the talk on values? Because if they're not, you know, you've just got a wish list. So that first one is value. The second thing then we do in our recruitment process, after we've gone through all the values, the competency-based end of life, we have the trial day, and that's a 16-hour interview, although we don't call it that for the candidate. And we rig up a day where maybe if it's a sales one, they link up with one of our colleagues, and it might start at 5:30 in the morning and it will finish at 11 at night, and we'll deliberately rig it so they've gone to Cardiff and Newcastle on the same day. And the reason for doing this is, one, we want to see that there's commitment there. Two, we haven't come across anyone yet who can maintain a facade of interview for 16 hours. And it's amazing what people pour out in the car as they're driving around, both on their previous experiences and also, you know, what's happening in their life outside business. And that gives us an added situation before we make a formal job offer. Before we make the formal job offer, in that final end of life, we will offer the candidate £4,000 not to take the job. We'd give you the 4,000 quid. And we want to see if anybody wants to take it up, because if they want to take it up for that kind of amount of money, then frankly we don't want a hassle of investing time in training them. Then the next stage is, when they get a job offer, they don't get the traditional job offer letter, they get a FedEx delivery. And when they open their FedEx parcel, helium balloons float out, and embedded in our corporate colours will be a bottle of champagne and 2 crystal glasses, and the employment letter says words to the effect of, "Hi Gary, welcome to Redgate, Cambridge's fastest growing award-winning company. We are so delighted to have you aboard, and we'll reinforce within that letter, in the next few years we're going to be doing X, Y and Z, and you're an integral part of our journey to enhancing our existing success. But for the moment, we just want you to celebrate with your partner, enjoy the moment, because you're going to be coming to work with us." Now, that has had the effect, when we're competing in the science parks in Cambridge and the innovation parks, and our stat is about 37% used to be our attrition rate on offering somebody a job. They go back to their own employers and all of a sudden their worth goes up 10,000 quid overnight, and that's cut it down to 7%, we believe. And that's the first part of the journey. And we've got a kind of similar process for all the different businesses I'm involved with. It's, you know, tweaked a bit. Then the next situation is when they arrive, we've got a whiteboard, as it were, in reception, and there's a handwritten message from the CEO welcoming that individual. And there'll be probably, depending on the size of the business, anything from half a dozen to up to 100 welcoming cards from colleagues that they're going to be working with. And it will be, you know, "I'm Eric, you'll find me on the 3rd floor, I look after your IT needs. Oh, we're so pleased, Gary, that you're coming to join us. Come and talk to me at any time." And that's their kind of feeling of welcome. At this stage they haven't even, you know, started the job. Before they start the job, they'll have approximately between an hour and 2 hours with the most relevant senior individual of business, talking about the stories of how our business came about. So at Buckley Jewellery it will be that we started off in the bedroom of our home. The first delivery arrived from China and was unloaded into the front garden. We had to get it out before the rain turned the gold into something more different. And it will be around why we've got the values we have and the iconic stories that we have in the business, like how Adrian, our creative director, got the idea for a, you know what a little tennis bracelet is with diamonds in it, sort of zirconia, that sells for us 35,000 a month in 170 airlines around the world. We're in all the airline catalogues, you know, the gilt ones, when you've forgotten to get your girlfriend or your wife a present when you've been overseas, so you quickly rustle up something like, instead of getting a bottle of perfume, you get a bit of jewellery for them. And how in Hong Kong he was looking at a window display and there were all these diamonds randomly set. So his twist on that was he created this tennis bracelet with these randomly set diamonds, but it's in Morse code and it spells out "I love you." 35,000 a month, 100 quid a time. My, how the money rolls in. And you will have iconic stories in your business about how you started, the special events that were your steps on the journey to where you are at the moment, and we'll be reinforcing the values. And it's only after that point that they are let loose into the department or the induction program. And one of the things we do as part of the induction program is every new starter gets a diary, and they record each week in the diary for 4 weeks observations on how their induction's going, what they learned, what their observations are about the way we do things around here, And quite important in this, how they're feeling. And the CEO and HR director will swap these diaries over a weekend, and it's amazing the trends that come out of that, you know. And then the last thing that we do before they're let loose into the department, we do a total debrief about their previous employment and what areas of excellence they saw within it that we can steal with pride and implement in our own business. That's a very, very rich tapestry. And that's quite outside the interview process. And then they're let loose into the situation there. Then we monitor the induction. And what we have found on the recruitment process is we have somewhat we would call natural good interviewers, and we always use them for our interview end of life because they seem to have a better hit rate. And then they've had the trial day, so they've got through that, and then it's on to the training and development program for them. So I guess these are my key things that I think work well, certainly for us in terms of recruitment, and therefore we think that we don't recruit 4 people for 2 places. We recruit the 2 best people, and we work on the principle better to have a whole than the alternative in that role, and wait to get the right people, because introducing mediocrity into high-performing teams is a cancer, and frankly you're better off without them, plus the fact it uses up shitloads of time.